This week for Word of the Week, we're going to talk about spread love, not fear. It's week 4. And the challenge is to just get together with an unsaved friend. We're going to do 2 things. One is set the stage. And the second part is to create some meaningful conversations just to break the ice so you get to know the other person a little bit better. And so it's pretty important to get to know your people or the setting or have a game plan, just because when we're in the mission field or when the time comes, we might even forget and our mind just goes blank, and we don't want to waste really good opportunities. And a lot of times some of us are really good at coming up with places to go to, but vice versa, we're not very good at coming up with things to say, right? Or to learn how to carry on a long conversation. So we want to come up with a game plan. First part is to set the stage. Some of us are actually a little bit better than others when it comes to hospitality and coming up with ways of fellowship. So let's kind of dive into that question first. So where can we actually take them? What are some places that we can go to, or some things that we can do together to fellowship?
I think for me, I have the ability to be like, hey, do you want to just come with me to these sporting events? And for me, I play badminton. There, I get to meet a lot of people at those kind of open gyms. And then I also bring some of my friends who don't really play that much with me to those events. Open gyms are great opportunities. I kind of lay with the sports side of things. I just want to be able to have a shared activity where everyone can kind of learn, enjoy, stay active, stay fit, and just be able to spend time running around the court and stuff like that. I think sports for me is probably one of the biggest things in ways that I can kind of have that hospitality mentality with people, have that fellowship with them. And so, yeah, I really enjoy kind of taking people to sports events and, also meeting new people.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think sports is one of those things where, there's 2 roles. You're either a player or a spectator, right? So it's like a win-win situation, right?
Yeah.
If they're a player, you get to play with them. But if they're a spectator, you get to watch with them, and you guys can have meaningful conversations there as well, right?
For me, I really enjoy inviting my unsaved friends to the gym with me. It's because I have a guest pass. So they all say yes to the free guest pass and say, hey man, you're saving a guest pass monthly, so come with me. And for gym, we do gym 4 days a week, so that gives me more than 1 day a week to hang out with them, right? I can slowly build up our relationship and ask them questions, especially during rest times when we rest for 3-4 minutes. That gives us a free time to talk about anything we want. No distraction, no eating, just me and that person one-on-one. And I have at least 15 of those opportunities per session. So that will open a space for us to talk about personal things, life, love. Yeah.
Very strategic. Gym is one of the best places to talk, especially when you pick the right time. It's quiet. They can't really go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And in between, reps, there's definitely time to make conversations there.
I want to add, also, it's a great place to meet strangers, because I see the same strangers every day I go. So, of course, I'm a little shy still, but there are a few people that I met and I say hi to every day. It took me a few times before I began asking them questions about their life.
All right, Natalie, so we don't have a gym pass, so we're not very active. We're pretty lazy a lot of times, right? So we just want someplace mellow, just, it's quiet and it's very personal. Where would you take them?
For me, I love inviting my friends over to my apartment and sharing a meal together. So Fia and I really love to cook lately, and so as we've been exploring new recipes, it's a really good excuse to invite somebody to come over to try this new recipe that we've cooked. I also like using the excuse of if it's my friend's birthday, instead of going out to some restaurant, having them come over and me cooking them a warm meal is one way that I really show my love language, and it's hard for them to say no.
Sure. And also you have home court advantage, right? So that means, you get to host, you get to ask the questions, right? You get to cook whatever you want.
Right. And they can't really go anywhere. They're stuck in my
I love this.
with me.
Yeah.
So there's no distractions. There's no loud noise. It's just us. And it's very personal. There's nobody kind of next to you listening in. So you're able to talk about a lot of things that you might not feel comfortable talking about in a public setting.
So those are all really good places. I hope you guys were able to take some notes. Now that we're actually at those places, so that means we had to come up with things to talk about, right? Conversations don't just happen all of a sudden, right? Somebody has to set the mood. Somebody has to set the tone. That's you as a person who understands hospitality. You would not invite someone to your house, you just kind of leave them in the corner and do your own thing. Wouldn't you? You probably would want to come over and talk to them. But to do that effectively, you just kind of have a list of questions, or you want to do this strategically. So one of the strategies I would advise is do your research a little bit on who you are inviting. For example, are they an active person playing sports? Are they in school? Are they in their career life stage? Or are they, maybe in the family life stage? And then you would pick questions that align to that life stage of theirs. So that way it leaves room for them to come up with more things to talk about, because that's something that they're currently going through. This is something that they're living in right now. So they have more things to respond with. What kind of questions would you actually ask or bring up during this time of fellowship?
The context that I think I want to go with is kind of like when I'm at open gym and I'm meeting strangers, right? I like to ask them like, hey, like, how long have you been playing? Or like, like, wow, you're so good. Like, where did you learn how to play and stuff like that? And kind of like get the ball rolling in that court, right? And so when usually they ask me like, where did I learn? Like, how long have I been playing? I'm like, oh yeah, I learned from this church and we compete every year, right? And I guess I throw out that hook for them to get like to sink them into VAY, right, and playing for us. And that's kind of like I guess like a bait, but it's kind of like it's kind of opening up that kind of dialogue. And since my kind of experience has been mostly through church people, mostly through players who kind of go to VAY, like I kind of wanted just to extend that invitation to these people I meet and just be like, hey, like we have this awesome community of players, right? Like just come out, check us out, and have fellowship.
Yeah, another win-win situation, right? We have more people playing for us. Hopefully you're hooking good players. Nice.
Yeah. For me, I see a pattern with my people I know who are unsaved. They tend to focus mostly on their career or dating or even college. So I usually open up with, are you happy with your job? And what's your short-term or long-term goals? And that will open up a space for them to tell me about the struggles and what they need help on, so where I can help them with. And also give me an opportunity to ask them, can I pray for you? Or if you have any requests for prayers, people will never say no to that. So it's worth a shot anytime someone's struggling.
Leading people to pray, I think, is one of those things where it was free. They'll take maybe 3, right? So definitely no one says no to that.
For me, most of my friends we're all kind of in a stage of marriage / engagement / family planning. And so a lot of our conversations are around, how's it going with so-and-so and you? Are you guys going to get married soon? How's it going with the kids? How are the kids in school and stuff like that? Just asking about how things are going in their lives day to day and how I can support them. Just asking what they're struggling with. I also ask a lot about career and just day-to-day jobs. So, if there's anything stressful going on at work, that again is another opportunity for not only for me to support them, but also to ask them if I can pray for them.
Yeah, nice. That's very strategic. Just getting that work-life balance discussion from people, and that way, it's a good strategy to find out what's needed in their life and what we can pray for about. And prayer requests is the best way to get in people's lives, right? It's very non-intrusive, and and people have the option to share a surface level or on a deep level, right? So it's totally up to them, and it's very hospitable. Great. So guys, thanks for sharing all that. Now that's pretty much it. Pick a place, all right, and pick some questions, and then pray about it and let the Holy Spirit take over. Remember this week, it's long-term evangelism, right? You're investing in this person. You want to be able to go on a second date or something like that, right? So you want to just keep the conversations flowing, keep it light, and it'll just kind of take care of itself, right? It doesn't have to be personal questions. It can be non-personal. You can even start slow with weather, with sports, with the news and interests and hobbies like we shared earlier. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to pray for you guys this week. Remember to fast on Thursday, food and social media, and God bless your journey. All right, have a good one.
Hey, bye everyone. Bye TLC.
Bye.